This week, we're going to be talking about instructional presentations. Sometimes these are called demonstration presentations, sometimes they're referred to as how to presentations. And this material is in the book in chapter 8, where it talks about informational presentations. And so, instructionals are another form of informational. There's presentations to raise awareness, there's one to explain complex information. And what we're going to talk about is how do you teach someone to do something? How do you impart the knowledge that someone needs so that they can complete a task? And so today, what we're going to talk about are the 4 components that you should include in any sort of instructional presentation, whether that is a recorded presentation or if you are doing a live presentation. And then just some overall tips for success. So there are 4 key parts that you want to include in any instructional presentation. And I purposely did not put these in order because these can be intermingled at times and they can come at different places. So I want you to avoid thinking, okay, first I do this, then I do this, then I do this. So the 4 things are the prerequisites. Those are all of the things, supplies, knowledge, skill set, anything you would need to complete that task. You do want to present these at the beginning of the presentation, not interspersed throughout. So the idea is I can have a list, I can gather my materials. Then we have procedures, and procedures are the step-by-step process of what you need to do. And these need to be detailed, they need to be organized, they need to be in order. Then you have things to avoid. So one thing that often happens is we can learn a lot when we're learning how to do something by someone telling us what to do, but we can also learn a lot from people telling us what not to do. And oftentimes for a given task or activity, there are common errors that people make, common mistakes. And so we want to tell people, hey, make sure you don't do this. And then there's the desired outcome. So what is if I do this and I do it well, what is the desired outcome? So sometimes people will start with the presentation, like if I was saying how to bake a pie, like, look at this beautiful pie. And then at the end, wow, look at my beautiful pie. So I wanted to give you an example. This is very basic. I would hope that most of you would know how to do this, but these are the materials that I had in my office. So let's imagine that I was teaching you how to make ice cubes using an ice cube tray, because nowadays many of us have built-in ice makers in our machines. So prerequisites, what do I need? I need an ice cube tray, and this is my handy mini ice cube tray for my office refrigerator. I need plain water, could be from the tap, it could be from a bottle. And then I need a freezer. And let's see if I can shift out of the way. Okay, well, I have a little mini fridge down there with a freezer component. Okay, so I need 3 things. Then I have the procedures. So first, I get my ice cube tray, I make sure it's clean. Then I pour water into the tray, making sure that each square is filled. Now, as I'm pouring, I want to make sure that I do not overfill the squares, because then the ice cubes, there will be a layer of water on top and they will all form together and they'll be difficult to separate. I want to make sure that I don't underfill, because then I will have smaller ice cubes. I want to make sure I'm steady so I don't spill the water. After I have filled the tray, I will turn and put that into the freezer component of my freezer. And I will leave it there at least 3 to 4 hours until the water is completely frozen. And once it is frozen, it might take longer depending on the temperature of your freezer. I can crack the tray to release those. Now, what's something to be cautious about is the outside of the ice cube will actually freeze prior to the inside. So you want to make sure that you do not crack it too early because your ice cubes will break and then there will be liquid in the middle. And the desired outcome, which I do not have to show you, but if I did, would be a beautiful little ice cube. Okay, so that is very basic, but as you see, I went over the steps in order. I talked about what you needed, and I talked about things that you would not want to do because then you will not end up with a perfect ice cube. So basic tips for success, both for your assignment in class and then just again in life, is remember your audience. So it always goes back to who is your audience? What do they know? What words do they know? So if you're teaching a audience how to do something that has no experience with your topic, avoid jargon. You might have to really go back to the basics. Very important. Go in the order of your procedures. So if you are jumping around saying, do this, oh, wait, I forgot. First, you do this, you do this. So really take the time in your own mind to think through what needs to come first, what needs to come second. And use those words in your presentation. Use those signposts so that we know where you're going and where we are. Don't assume, some of this goes with remember your audience, but don't assume that your audience can fill in the gaps. And so make sure for whatever you're teaching, you have all of the steps that are needed. So one of the things I do a lot in my job is I work with instructors and train them on how to use things like Brightspace and how to use the grade book. And in those, I can't assume that everybody is logged in at the beginning of a training. So just simply saying, okay, everyone log in. Now go here, now go here. And then finally, as with any presentation, be engaging. So people are trying to learn from you and they're might be very interested in what you're talking about, maybe not so much, but no matter what, you want to have enthusiasm. Again, vocal variety, delivery, be engaging, tell me interesting information. So if you think about all of the sort of how-to TV shows that are very, very popular on Food Network or HGTV or something like that, those hosts are entertaining. So beyond that, I learn how to refinish a dresser or make a certain dish, I can see that person's personality and they add interest. So remember 4 key things: prerequisites, procedures, things to avoid, and desired outcomes.